right, thank you for coming, everybody. We had an executive session earlier, so we're going to have to adjourn from that session. Could I get a motion, please?
I move to adjourn from executive session.
I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank you. Now we're adjourned from executive session. We could begin our normal business meeting. Let's begin with the roll call.
Jason Olive,
Here?
Barb Hoskin,
Here.
Joel Ward,
Here.
Kurt Roars,
Here.
Kathy Serrano.
Here.
Thank you. Now let's join the pledges of allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. All right. Our first item up for business is our approval of the minutes of our previous board meeting. Could I get a motion, please?
Mr. President, I move to approve the minutes of the August 9th, 2023 regular board meeting.
Thank you. Could I get a second, please?
I'll second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Okay, thank you. That carries. Next is to approve and ratify payroll and accounts payable vouchers. Could I get a motion, please?
Mr. President, I request approval to ratify payroll and accounts payable vouchers.
Thank you. Could I get a second, please?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Next, is there any correspondence, Mr. Narducci?
Mr. President, members of the board, there is no correspondence at this time.
Thank you. Mr. Narducci, do you have current events?
I do, but first I have to adjust my seat. 1 second, okay?
Okay, thank you.
I think Mr. Worth might have been hitting that tab a little bit. So we do. President Olive, members of the board, I have a quick current event report for you this evening followed by an in-person recognition. Next Wednesday at 6:30 p.m., we will be hosting a ribbon cutting for the Hope Institute of CUSD. The Hope Institute is a critical component of our effort to raise awareness for youth mental health. The facility is on the property of Perry High School, but will be for all Chandler Unified School District students. The Hope Institute will be staffed by certified clinicians trained in helping reduce suicidal risk. The Hope Institute is based in Ohio, but our facility will be the very first partnership with the school district and may serve as a model for other districts across not only the state but the country. The ribbon cutting is open to the public, and we encourage all of the public to attend. If there are individuals that are watching, we need Kids Express workers. This job is perfect for college students. They can work part-time and still get great benefits because they are working for a school district. This is a perfect development opportunity for individuals who may be interested in teacher certification and or other part-time college students. If you know someone who might be interested in joining our community education team, please encourage them to apply. All the information is on our website. We've had some active media coverage lately. Bachelor biology teacher Miranda Thornton was recognized by Channels 3 and Channel 5 for being named the Arizona Biology Teacher of the Year. Fox 10 previewed the Senior Clash Wars, which was basically field day for all CUSD seniors. The event was filled with school and district spirit as our seniors competed against one another out at Castile High School and even had some fun using projection devices to hurl water balloons at school and district administrators. And I can say for one, they did get it very close this year. So they have really worked on their trajectories. And ABC 15 covered a heartwarming story out of CTA Freedom. Students wrote well wishes to the residents of Maui impacted by the recent wildfires. Also, I'd like to congratulate Ms. Berry and her team. Government Finance Officers Association of the United States and Canada has awarded the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting to Chandler Unified School District Number 80 for its annual comprehensive financial report for the financial year ending June 30th, 2022. The report has been judged by an impartial panel to meet the high standards of the program, which includes demonstrating a constructive spirit of full disclosure, to clearly communicate its financial story and motivate potential users and user groups to read the report. The Certificate of Achievement is the highest form of recognition in the area of governmental accounting and financial reporting, and its attainment represents a significant accomplishment by a government and its management. Congratulations to Mrs. Landenberry and our entire business team. Finally, I'd like to invite up to the front Amber Rogers, Catering Sales Manager, and Eleanor Chavez, Catering Manager for CUSD Food and Nutrition. If they can come up to the front, and I'll be down there to join you in 1 second because I have to read this first. Last week, these two exhibited the and then some that positively impacts our students. They helped a young CUSD student in danger. The young student was walking along in the middle of a very, very busy roadway by one of our schools. Amber and Eleanor were driving near the school. Eleanor stopped the van and blocked traffic briefly so that Amber could get the student to safety. Actually, I have to say, she went out of there and pretty much stopped traffic to get our student to safety in her arms. Amber and Eleanor, this evening, we would like to recognize you with these certificates. Your actions are what I like to call the and then some factor. You were doing your job and then some that day, and because of that, you assisted in the safety of our student until the school and authorities could assist. Thank you for making a difference in the lives of our Chandler Unified School District family, and I know there's a heartfelt thank you also from the family as well. So we appreciate you very much, and I'll come right down there to congratulate you. And Mr. President, I just want to say that we were able to do all that reading with dilated eyes. So,
All right, good job.
I apologize for the glasses today, but when you have your eyes dilated about an hour ago, it kind of makes that print real.
Good effort, thank you. All right, is that your full report, Frank?
That's it.
All right, thank you very much. And thank you very much, ladies, thank you. Now's the time for our citizen comments. So here's the thing to read before that. This is the time for the public to comment. Members of the board may not discuss items that are not specifically identified on the agenda. Therefore, pursuant to ARS 38-431.01H, at the conclusion of the open call to the public, individual members of the public body may respond to criticisms made by those who have addressed the public body, may ask staff to review a matter, or may ask that a matter be put on a future agenda. However, members of the public body shall not discuss or take legal action on matters raised during an open call to the public unless the matters are properly noticed for discussion and legal action. All right, our first person to speak tonight is Natalie Cordova.
Hello, members of the board. I think this is a little bit, there we go, okay. So I was here at the last board meeting about the Saxon math versus Hello? Now better? Okay. I was here last time about the Saxon math, and I've had a little bit of time to talk to more parents and to do a little more research, and I just wanted to speak about it again because I just believe it's a really important topic. So once again, good evening to all the members of the board. School choice is an attractive opportunity for many parents, as CUSD has CTA programs in our district that have always set themselves apart and are considered an accelerated program. On the website it says CTA is a program that helps the child reach their full potential. It also currently states students will be instructed using Spalding and Saxon materials. Unfortunately, this is no longer accurate, and the curriculum has been changed to the McGraw-Hill My Math. As I stand here today, I can assure you that myself, as well as many others, question the future of the CTA program. A program that was highlighted in CUSD and a game changer to school choice has now been made the equivalent to the regular curriculum, slowing the pace that the students were learning at. The new math curriculum, My Math, is full of unnecessary tricks to understand how to add, subtract, etc. It's learning multiple ways to one answer, reducing efficiency. These children already know math facts and will have to continue using them going forward. My Math is ineffective, confusing the kids that have already learned with Saxon and they're struggling to be retaught simple addition through needlessly complex ways. Math is one subject where if you do the steps correctly, you will get the correct answer. Why are children being made to feel there is a gray area with math where various possible outcomes exist? There is more guessing, tricks, and discussion than I have ever seen in math problems, especially at the elementary level where the focus is on cementing fundamentals should be greater than tricks. Again, I'm asking the board to do this for the children's benefit. Find a way to bring Saxon back for the CTA program. Keep it a highlight for our district. Keep our district one that people look to come to for these wonderful programs. Find a way to bring it back for the CTA programs. Without Saxon, the only difference between CTA and classic curriculum is Spalding and CTA math that is taught 1 year ahead. I'm not sure where I'm at time-wise. I'm done.
You have
Okay,
about 20.
Thank you so much.
You have about 20 seconds.
Okay. Well,
Started late.
okay. With that, really quick, I have a couple text messages that I've received from parents, and not naming names or anything. These are just people who just got finished doing math with their kiddos who are now first graders. This one says, "Math was just, oh, so bad tonight. She finished all of it today, so we don't have to stress the rest of the week. It's seriously so terrible. We have her conference this Thursday, and I'll definitely be talking to the teacher about it." Another one says, "My girls and myself are so upset and confused with all of this and why it changed. This is so unfortunate. Why did the district change this?" So
Time has
these are just
expired.
parents that are really concerned, and we just want to help our kiddos. So I just wanted to share that with you tonight.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Cordova. All right, our next speaker is Diane Lundahl.
Hi, good evening to everybody here tonight, most especially our school board members and our executive administration. I'm really happy to be here tonight representing the CEA as one of the vice presidents. My name is Diane Lundahl, some of you already know. And I'm here really to thank you guys more than anything else for approving the one-time 3% stipend that was approved by the state legislature this year. I realize that you guys could have used that funding in many ways, and you chose to use it to give teachers a stipend, and that's something that we're all grateful for. We're all very, I think, wishful for a way to implement it at a more permanent basis, but we know that you guys all see that consistently. While I'm here, I'd also like to ask that you consider voting on revising the approved paid time off policy to reflect the allowance for paid time off preceding or following school holidays. I know that this is still depending on supervisor approval, but I saw that on your agenda tonight. So I thought it'd be a good idea to let you guys know that it really makes a difference for us and our families to be able to have that choice and to know that you guys appreciate and acknowledge our professionalism in knowing when it is appropriate and when it is not. In addition to that, we ask that you reconsider the student pronoun nickname policy based on a bill that was vetoed by Governor Hobbs. This policy further alienates a group of students who are already struggling with depression and have a higher incidence of suicide rates based on these issues with identity. This policy is also antagonistic to the groundbreaking efforts that you guys are making by including and incorporating the Hope Institute into our district, which I would love to applaud. But sometimes we take contradictory actions. And I think the policy of not being able to use student choice names, pronouns, and nicknames is one of them. Through these actions, you validate our contribution to the district and to the CUSD community. Considering these actions will really result in an even stronger school district, it'll result in greater teacher retention, and it'll help us further our dedication and I think our goals that we have set forward for future-ready schools. So thank you again for the actions you have taken, and please consider those asks for tonight.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Lindahl. That concludes our citizen comments for tonight. Next, we are going to consent agenda. Mr. Narducci, would you like to present that for us?
Yes, President, all of members of the board, I present the consent agenda as published and posted for your approval.
All right, thank you. Could I get a motion on the consent agenda, please?
Mr. President, I move that we approve the consent agenda as published and posted.
Thank you. Could I get a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor of approving the consent agenda as posted, please say aye.
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 All right, thank you. That passes. Next, we get to our action items. First is IGA about CTE. Dr. Gilbert, do you have a presentation that you're going to do?
I'll go ahead and present.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. President, members of the board, we present to you the Arizona CTE Curriculum Consortium Intergovernmental Agreement for CTE Teacher Resources, Instructional Materials, and Professional Development. The board approved the initial intergovernmental agreement, IGA, in June 2013. The IGA was renewed and signed by both CUSD and Pima JTED in November 2016 and again in August 2020. The cost to CUSD associated with program membership, maintenance, ongoing development, and necessary revisions is projected not to exceed $20,022.50. Career and technical education funding will be utilized to fund CUSD's participation.
All right, thank you. We need to get a motion on the table so we could have any discussion on this. Could I get a motion, please?
Mr. President, I move that we approve the costs associated with the program membership, maintenance, and ongoing development and necessary revisions that is projected not to exceed $20,022.50.
Thank you. Could I get a second, please?
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion on the table. Does anyone have any discussion or questions about this? Yes, sir.
So I know this contract is with the Pima County JTED. We're in the EVIT JTED in Maricopa County. Why do we have an agreement with a JTED in another county that we're not part of?
So I believe Pima stands for something, and I'm not exactly sure what the acronym is, so I can certainly get back to you at this point in time. I'll work with Ms. Duran.
I would like to make a comment on this. Pima County has a consortium that all of the a lot of the educational materials are available in that, and we are a member of that, so that we are able to access all of those materials and actually contribute to some of those materials. If Pima County basically is the lead in the state, that all of the other JTEDs around the entire state are utilizing this in districts all over the state. They've had it as basically a large clearinghouse for all of these materials in one place, and they maintain the platform, and that's basically what we're paying for, to help maintain the platform and utilizing those materials that are available for all the JTED programs across the state.
So what you're saying is your consortium and EVIT is part of this consortium? Okay, that wasn't clear from what was presented here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Boston. Does anybody else have any questions, discussions about this one? All right, if not, then we'll entertain the motion. All those in favor of the motion to approve, please say aye.
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 All right, thank you, everyone. The motion carries. Next, we have approval of the State Facility Board's 2024 capital plan. Ms. Berry?
Mr. President, this report shows because of our lack of growth, there is no funding. So I'd like to suggest that we just move on this and move forward. There's nothing to speak about since there is no funding. Just would you accept the report as written because there is no funding? Doesn't exist. So I'd just like to move this item.
Can we get
Let's
Mrs. Berry should.
let's let Mrs. Berry present it, and then we'll see if somebody wants to do a motion, and then we can discuss it.
There's nothing to present. But anyway.
So this, Mr. President, members of the board, it used to be that this report was really important, especially for Chandler Unified School District, because we would have to send in our demographic information so that we qualified for new construction. And then the demographer then for the School Facilities Board would confer the numbers. We would go back and forth, and then ultimately the amount was of new construction. If we qualified, there'd be a dollar amount put to that number, and it would be given to the legislature to approve. But ultimately, by September 1st, you have to turn this report in, no matter who you are. So all 225 school districts have to turn it in. So we ultimately report the number of, it's actually of tuition in students. It doesn't allow you to put in the number of out of tuition students, meaning kids that come in from school districts surrounding us. So you can see that it matches our numbers that you saw last week from applied economics. And then the other numbers are just kind of what you saw last week and then we used our internal numbers too to kind of come up with how many students we're going to have. Since we're declining, we don't qualify for new school construction dollars, but we also are required to list any new additional square footage. So the last page has square footage. You can see that we have two items, the concession stand and the field house that we're adding at Basha. That's new construction for square footage. And then the third item is Galveston Elementary, which is a replacement school. And so we go over that. We have to send that to the SFB. Then ultimately we have to report a square footage report that has to go into. So there's a couple reasons for it. It's to document our information and our data. But ultimately anymore, it's just a report to submit into the SFB. We're not requesting any new funding for new school construction. There is no money for replacement. But we do qualify for building renewal grants. That's totally separate from this in a different pocket. And it's not something that we do through this process.
Mr. President, if I could, I did read the report, which was really pretty interesting, actually. But I did notice that the funding source that was indicated was bond money, which would be our money and not SFB money. Is that correct?
So the SFB, we have to put that. You have to state it on the bottom, but you do have to, when you add new square footage or replacement, you have to communicate that with the School Facilities Board because of the square footage information that we have with the State Facilities Board, so you're required to put that. And right now, under the law, the only thing that they fund is new construction. They don't fund replacement construction right now. And then in another pot, there's building renewal dollars that are allocated by the legislature, and that's not in this process, so.
Okay.
But the point being, there's no SFB.
I have a question.
They're just not for us. We don't qualify for it.
I have a question, but it probably wouldn't be proper to ask until we get a motion on the table. Could I get a motion on this agenda item?
Mr. President, I move that we approve the Chandler Unified School District's 2024 capital plan.
Could I get a second?
A second.
Okay, thank you. So the SFB is asking us to do it, and they use our information. So it's not tied to building renewal grants at all?
No, the capital plan is not. No, it is not. It's just a requirement that all school districts, all 225 school districts
Have to submit
the capital plan. So every year by September 1st, we have to submit this.
So we're supposed to submit it whether or not we vote on it?
Yes.
We just have to approve the report.
I would have to bring it back.
Oh, we have
do
to,
it,
we
yes.
have to approve the report. Well, for the sake of good relations with the SFB, who could also give us building renewal grants and money to help fix things up, which we need, I think we probably should go ahead and approve this, since we have to do it anyway. Is there any more discussion on this item? All those in favor of approving the report to the SFB, please say aye.
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 All right. Thank you, everyone. That motion passes. Next action item is the board achievement goals.
All right, President Olive, members of the board, we request approval of the below modifications to the 2023-2024, let me get in the right school year, Journey 2025 Board Achievement Goals. Changes in the below metrics, we were requesting a change to 4B, Service Learning Hours rubric, to change to an improvement calculation, since we only have 1 year of data and do not know how service learning hours will be affected this year. Change 5B, chronic absence rubric, to an improvement calculation, since we have 2 years of inconsistent data. Modification of 6B, 9th grade students attaining 5.5 credits during their first year of enrollment in high school to be a prior year calculation, so that summer school records are included. No change to the rubric is being requested. All other board achievement benchmarks will remain the same as prior years to ensure Chandler Unified School District continues to strive to reach our goals. Recommend approval of the 2023-2024 Journey 2025 Board Achievement Goals as presented.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Fletcher. Could we get a motion on the table so that we could have discussion?
I move to approve the 2023-24 Journey 2025 Board Achievement Goals as presented.
Okay, thank you. Could we get a second?
I'll second.
All right, thank you. All right, is there any discussion or questions about this one? Mr. Roars?
Yeah, I think we discussed this before about ACT testing. Well, Dr. Gilbert's not here. And I could not remember the answer. Do all students in this district take the ACT or only some? Actually, Mr. Dr.
ACT is now our required state assessment, so all grade 11 students are required to take it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, does anybody else have any questions about this one? All right, then we'll entertain the motion. All those in favor of the motion as presented, please say aye.
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 All right, thank you. That one carries. Next, we're at 7.04, actions related to possible dismissal of teacher Simon Ocampo. Mr. Narducci, would you like to lead us off? Hang on a minute. Got stuff here. So do we have an administration attorney who's going to present? All right.
We do. I'd like to invite our administrative attorney to come up to read the statement of charges.
Good evening, governing board members. I'm Kathleen Brantingham, and on behalf of Superintendent Narducci, I'm presenting a statement of charges against teacher Simon Ocampo and request that the governing board take the following actions relative to the statement of charges. Number one, that the governing board conclude, after having reviewed the statement of charges, that the district has sufficient cause to dismiss Simon Ocampo if the allegations are true. Two, that the governing board vote to provide Simon Ocampo with notice of its intent to dismiss him from his employment if the governing board makes the determination that the alleged conduct is cause for dismissal. And three, that the governing board designate a hearing officer to hold the hearing, hear the evidence, prepare a record, and issue a recommendation to the governing board for action if a hearing is requested by Simon Ocampo. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Does anybody have a motion as to whether the allegations presented in the statement of charges by the administration constitute a cause for dismissal?
I move to adopt the
Simon
statement of charges.
I'm sorry, could you repeat?
I move to adopt the statement of charges.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, thank you. Motion is seconded. Do we have any discussion or questions? Okay, then all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. All right, that motion carries. So the governing board will now need to designate a hearing officer to hold the hearing, to hear evidence, prepare a record, and issue a recommendation to the governing board for action. Is there a motion?
I move that if a hearing officer is not selected by mutual agreement of the parties, that the governing board designate Susie Kanata Esquire to be the hearing officer in the matter. If Ms. Kanata is not available, the governing board designates John Richardson Esquire as the hearing officer.
Thank you, Ms. Boston. Is there a second?
Seconded.
Okay, thank you. There's a motion on the table. Does anybody have any questions or discussion? In that case, we will go ahead and vote on the motion. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All right, thank you. The motion carries. I think we are finished with item number 7.04. That gets us to information items. Ms. Berry has some information about certificates of excellence in financial reporting.
Mr. President, members of the board, the Association of School Business Officials International and the Government Financial Officers Association have awarded Chandler Unified School District with a prestigious Certificate of Excellence in Financial Reporting for its comprehensive annual financial report for fiscal year ending 2022. It's for your review.
All right, thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions about this one?
I just want to congratulate Mrs. Berry and her department. We really appreciate the excellence that you exhibit in the financial reporting. And this is kind of a legacy that the district has had, because we have gotten this for many, many years, and you have definitely continued that legacy of excellence in financial reporting. So congratulations.
Thank you. We have a great team. The ladies and gentlemen who work for us are amazing, so thank you.
All right. Great, thank you. So our next thing to go over is our CUSD board agenda roadmap. Our next meeting on September 13th, we're going to look at organizational culture, outstanding students, the Anderson Elementary IB progress, so that'll be great. Also, it'll be Hispanic Heritage Month. There's going to be a ASBA Law Conference the 7th and 8th. I think we have somebody that's going to that. That's wonderful. And then the 9th, we have the ASBA Delegate Assembly to speak about.
Mr.
Yes, ma'am.
Olive, have a question on that. Have we actually voted on a delegate for that assembly? Does
Not that
anyone
I
know?
know
I
of.
don't seem to, or are we utilizing, I think there was a delegate earlier on in the year, but typically we have to have a delegate to that assembly.
We haven't chosen a delegate for this assembly.
Okay.
All right, so no delegate yet. All right, we'll have to vote on that the next time we have an agenda coming up. All right, that brings us around to board member current events. Ms. Serrano, do you have anything new today?
So I thought Superintendent Narducci might mention this, but we didn't hear it, so I'll share it. I just wanted to share, for those that might be unaware, the East Valley Favorites 2023 is underway. That's somewhat of a contest here locally, meant to celebrate the best our community has to offer. This, of course, includes public nominations and votes for your favorite East Valley Public School District. So this is just a fun, friendly opportunity to support CUSD. I invite our community to help keep Chandler Unified at the top as a favorite public school district by voting for us. Voting does close for nominations on August 31st, so we would appreciate your support. You could cast your nomination at yourvalley.net/EVF. You're going to have to look for the community category and then drop down to public school district, and you'll select Chandler Unified, I hope. The contest timeline is just nominations through August 31st. Then voting will take place, more voting, November 1st through the 30th, and we'll have our winner announced on February 1st. So please participate in support of our school district. And September is around the corner, and as President Olive mentioned, that means we're nearing Hispanic Heritage Month. Since we won't be back until mid-September here, I just want to encourage people to check out all the Chandler Contigo festivities and activities that will be taking place thanks to our City of Chandler and other partnered organizations. Chandler Contigo means Chandler is with you. So we will have our city support celebrating all month long in a series of family, cultural, and educational events that honor and celebrate National Hispanic Heritage Month. You can visit the official events website on the City of Chandler's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Division site for more information, for lots of fun to be had, and I hope to see some of you out there. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Roars, do you have anything new for us today?
Yeah, on Friday morning, I was able to go over to the San Marcos Elementary School, and I was able to look at some playground equipment that we had bought for them, 2 swing sets and a jungle gym. Total cost was $480,000, even though they're very, very nice. It seemed to be an awful lot of money. We've done this at several other schools with 2019 bond money, and I estimate the total project to well over $3 million. So just wanted to bring that to the public's attention. Thank you.
Okay. Mrs. Marsden, do you have anything new today?
I just wanted to do a shout out to a Chandler Education Foundation golf tournament that's going to be held on September 8th, which is actually before our next meeting. And the funds that are raised for this golf tournament will be used to support the foundation and scholarships opportunities and other grant type monies and things. They are also currently wrapping up their Cash for Classrooms drive, where they raise money for mini grants for teachers in the classrooms to do enrichment activities. So if you are interested in donating or volunteering for any of these projects, please go to the Chandler Education, ChandlerEdFoundation.org webpage and sign up for some of them. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Worth, do you have anything new today?
No, I do not.
All right, thank you. I had a couple of things. Number one, Ms. Serrano didn't mention, and she's also taking care of cleaning up Chandler. So her events outside of being a board member also include volunteer stuff and doing cleanups and things around our campuses and making things nicer in Chandler. So that's really awesome. Thank you very much for that, Patty. Second thing is this Government Finance Officers Association certificate that was awarded to Chandler is really neat. It means that we have really super governance in our financial management, and we're really proud of you guys for getting that. Anybody that makes accusations about Chandler hiding money or pretending they don't have any money or anything like that, they really need to get a life and read the news release from the Government Financial Officers Association, because this really spells out how responsible and how upstanding the financial management of this district is. That brings our meeting to a conclusion. Meeting adjourned.